If you were to talk directly to the kids at Columbine or the people in that community, what would you say to them if they were here right now?
I wouldn't say a single word to them. I would listen to what they have to say, and that's what no one did.
Bada my name is Marcus Conte reporting. I'm going to take a deep dive into the issue of censorship. What censorship am I talking about? Am I talking about the censorship of Twitter, Facebook, Google, censoring out content people like, you know, Alex Jones and all the big guys, the big wielding the big voice? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the more important, at the foot soldier level, where content providers now, it's a new phenomenon, right? YouTube, everybody's, you know, if you're a creator of videos and your videos take off, right? And now you wield the power over the people that comment on your video. Power trip. Oh, I could delete. But what happened? I thought everybody's against censorship. I thought everybody loves the First Amendment. Now all of a sudden your videos are popular, and you're going to delete out comments that are derogatory or negative or not complimentary to you. If I go to a video and someone, you know, if I comment and I notice that my comments are they're not registering, I never go back to that channel, and I figure it out. If you comment on a I'm talking about the speed chat, you know, the super chat. If you comment in the super chat, right, and you see your comment go up the list, right, on a live video, and you then refresh the page and it's not there, you know that they're censoring it out, right? As a content provider, someone who makes videos, and I'm in a unique position now because now suddenly I'm, you know, my shit is popular, right? So I see a lot of comments, and I have this I wield a certain amount of power, which I don't do at all. I take the position of everything is okay.
When I was a kid growing up, music was the escape. That's the only thing that had no judgments. You know, you put on a record and it's not going to yell at you for dressing the way you do.
Some will be so brash to ask if we believe that all who hear Manson tomorrow night will go out and commit violent acts. The answer is no. But does everybody who watches a Lexus ad go and buy a Lexus? No, but a few do.
I definitely can see why they would pick me, because I think it's easy to throw my face on a TV because I'm, in the end, sort of a poster boy for fear, because I represent what everyone's afraid of, because I do and say what I want.
In the 90s, right, there was a brand of censorship, and that was about saving the children. Oh, the children, they're not allowed to hear these words: fuck, pussy, dick, cunt. You know what I mean? Like shit, ass, asshole. You couldn't say those things in a song, right? So under the Clintons, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, and their vice president Al Gore and his lovely wife Tippa Gore, they created this organization called the PMRC, the Parent Music Research Committee, something like that, right? And that was the remember the sticker, the explicit language sticker that would go on the record, so that you can warn the children that there's going to be some offensive language in this music.
But remember now, a lot of kids don't have parents that really care about them, and those kids tend to gravitate to people like you, who
If a kid asked me, should I have sex, I'd say, how old are you? And I'd say, well, I lost my virginity when I was 16, so there's my inspiration to you.
All right.
And I would have tried sooner, but I just couldn't find any girls that like me.
You're a pretty well-spoken guy, yet in your records you use a lot of F-word, a lot of swearing, and this and that. Again, is it necessary to get your message across to use that kind of language? Is it you use the sexual imagery, you use the shocking physical appearance, you've done some bizarre things on stage, and you use profanity. All that necessary?
Sometimes. I think sometimes when you're making a point, I don't think that my lyrics are overlaced with profanity, because I myself don't speak using a lot of profanity in normal conversation. But I think when you're making something aggressive and you need to get a point across, if you're angry, sometimes profanity is necessary. It's better to use a curse word than to hurt somebody else, I find.
You post on my video and I don't like what you're saying, or I don't like your face, and I delete your comment, right? Or I prevent you from putting another comment on there, right? Right? That's the micro level, right? And that's the real epidemic right now. It's not fucking Facebook, you know, deleting entire groups. I mean, there's tens of thousands, 100,000 groups on Facebook, maybe more. Maybe who the hell knows? There's no number, right? And a couple hundred get deleted. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's in terms of YouTube, I don't really know of any. I mean, there's a handful of people that just go so far and push the envelope so far, and those are real, you know, those are real pioneers, comrades that do that. But for the most part, 99.9% of the stuff on YouTube is allowed to stand. But the comments, that's the problem. See, if content people on YouTube think it's okay to delete comments, I'm not going to name them. You know, you guys know who you are. Right? And you're going to delete comments, and you're going to censor your super chat, and you're going to have, you know, 4 idiots, 10 idiots with fake screen names attack people and give positive feedback to people. If that's the game you're going to play, ultimately you'll fail, right? People like that fail, right? Because that's grounded in deception. That's manipulation. That's censorship. That's you know, spycraft, tradecraft, right? It's trying to manipulate the narrative in a favorable light to you. But if you're grounded in the truth, the mosh pit, the example of the mosh pit, where if you step into the mosh pit, right, you're in the mosh pit, you're throwing your elbows around, fucking get out of my way, you know what I mean? You hold your ground in the mosh pit, and when you're tired, you get out of the mosh pit and you let somebody else mosh.
If Marilyn Manson can walk into our town and promote hate, violence, suicide, death, drug use, and Columbine-like behavior, I can say, not without a fight you can't.
The two byproducts of that whole tragedy were violence and entertainment and gun control. And how perfect that was the two things that we were going to talk about with the upcoming election. And also then we forgot about Monica Lewinsky, and we forgot about the president was shooting bombs overseas, yet I'm a bad guy because I've sang some rock and roll songs. And who's a bigger influence, the president or Marilyn Manson?
Do you know,
I'd like to think me, but I'm going to go with the president.
Do you know that the day that Columbine happened, the United States dropped more bombs on Kosovo than any other time during that war? I
do know that, and I think that that's really ironic, you know, that nobody said, well, maybe the president had an influence on this violent behavior. No, because that's not the way the media wants to take it and spin and turn it into fear, because then you're watching television, you're watching the news, you're being pumped full of fear. There's floods, there's AIDS, there's murder, cut to commercial, buy the Acura, buy the Colgate. If you have bad breath, they're not going to talk to you. If you got pimples, the girl's not going to fuck you. And it's just this, it's a campaign of fear and consumption. And that's what I think that it's all based on, is the whole idea that keep everyone afraid and they'll consume. Mm-hmm. And that's really as simple as it can be boiled down to.
Right.
It's like a ticking time bomb, right? The idea of violence at a serial level, where people do it, you know, like mass shootings and these sorts of things. It's almost always a, if it's not a patsy, we're seeing more of that now, but people that resort to that sort of aggression are usually so wrapped up in themselves that they don't have anybody to speak to, that there's this lack of expression in the United States right now. Oh, I can't say what I want to say. I can't say what I want to say. Maybe I'll go on social media and try to say something. No, and you got some jerk off that's worried about his image. Right? He's putting out content with calling it news, and he's worried about his fucking image. Or he's a crowdsourcer. He's worried about his fucking image. Right? those people, you run them over, right? Those are phony balonies, right? And we should boycott them. We should, if I go to a site and my shit gets deleted, I never go back again. I accept that person is lost and doesn't want to hear opinion, anything that challenges their opinion, they don't want to hear it, right? So I never go back, right? It's so fucking ridiculous, right? And dangerous, right? Because what is it that we're filtering out? See, it used to be clear we're filtering out, dirty words, but now it's gone to the point of filtering out commentary that we don't agree with, that is offensive to our sense of who we are, right? Right? That's where we are now. Political correctness.
Rigid ideology and total conformity. They demand absolute agreement, and they dismiss, demean, and demonize anyone who questions their radical ideas. Did you ever see anything like what's going on?
So you have no grounds. When you bitch and moan about Facebook and Twitter and Google deleting, and you're a content provider and you delete people in your comments, or you're a commenter and you allow that shit to happen and you don't say anything, you don't speak up, you don't challenge that content creator in a vocal way, if you just go along with it, or or you're a moderator and you got this certain power of deleting people, you're just as bad as Twitter. You're worse. You're worse because you're doing it at a micro level. They're doing it at a macro level. They delete. Sometimes they do it right. Sometimes they do it. They don't even know what they're doing, right? That's what I'm talking about, though. But does it lead to violence? Does it lead to something like the synagogue shooter? Yeah, you could diffuse things quicker if you allow them to speak, right? If someone's quiet and they're working in the darkness, right? You don't know they're coming, right? But if you allow them to speak, you could say, "Oh, this guy's crazy. This guy's a time bomb, ticking time bomb." Don't delete him. Let him speak. Let him come out, right? And I mean, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never harm me, right? I've been called fucking everything on earth. Do you think it doesn't? It's like I'm grounded in the truth, right? So if people coming on, and people like to do that, they think it's funny, like they see the talking head and they attack the talking head, and that's fine. I get it. It's fun. Wayne's World, whatever you fucking want to say, who cares? The point is that but the real comments, like, I skim over that. I don't even look at it. I think it's stupid. But the real comments, I'm deeply interested in people's opinion of real subject matter. The subject matter that's under attack right now, the expression of free speech, the challenging of monopoly, oligarchy, the challenging of government, right? That's the speech that we're under. So you could say dick, pussy, cunt, fuck, asshole, motherfucker. You could say all those things now. There's no ban on that. But if you say, I think we should split up the banks, well, I think that Donald Trump is a good guy and we should vote for the Republicans, they'll fucking shut you down, right? That's where we're at right now. So there's a different type of censorship going on. What that censorship is below the radar. If content people allow their comments to be seen and heard and voiced, right? Self-censor. If someone's speaking stupid, right? Eventually you'll look and say, "Oh, there's a jerk off again." You don't even look at their comment anymore. Now they're just yakking and no one's paying attention, no one's listening, and they go away, right? They diffuse into the woodwork. But if you black them out, they still in their mind think that they're right, and that they're gonna because they haven't had a chance to speak to anybody. No one's listening to them. So there is a psychology to comments. There is a reason why we shouldn't censor our brothers and sisters in the comments. My name is Marcus Conte, reporting on censorship. Peace.
If you were to talk directly to the kids at Columbine or the people in that community, what would you say to them if they were here right now?
I wouldn't say a single word to them. I would listen to what they have to say, and that's what no one did.